Hey, YouTube world. Well, off to make another video about just the bullshit I could barely hear. Just the baby distant whispers of some asshole named Danny constantly smothering my expression, anything I do or say. He keeps saying that that's him, and he keeps acting like he's some sort of jinn or something, and then he programs words into my mouth. Like every time I open my mouth, it triggers my brain waves to say something stupid. So like while I can't hear anything, maybe that's what his broadcast or whatever they do, because when I don't hear anything I'm doing, I'm just like thinking of stuff or looping things in my head, or I'll pronounce something, or I'll look at anything. I'll just go over it in my head a few times. Well, supposedly once I say something once, it's like, I don't know, he keeps forcing conversations, like my thoughts. He'll snatch my thoughts involuntarily, turn them into words, and then make me think that my daughter or someone I know is responding to me, and that shit pisses me off, because I never talked to no noises before, and now that these noises started, this piece of shit wants to force conversations. He wants to force conversations that aren't even happening, but he wants to take credit for it. He wants to act like me. Like, it's weird. Like, he wants to kick me out of my own body or something. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. He'll pretend like he's me in my own head. Everything I fucking do, any fucking thing, if I just lift my arm up, he's like, oh, when you, can you give us a sign? Can you lift your arm up and as a sign, to give us a sign that it's okay to do this and it's okay to do that, or some shit. I don't know, like if they made themselves some beneficiary of something about me. It's weird, but they're trying to kill me, you know? They pretend like they're me, and they keep trying to kiss ass to something. They keep trying to get something's attention inside of me. I don't know what it is. That's the impression I get. And they'll pretend that they're my consciousness. They'll torment me, and then while I'm feeling tormented, all within my same body. I mean, I know who I am, Samuel Velez, but some asshole named Danny keeps saying that he's me. So if that duality's in my body and he's torturing me, I mean, getting me stressed out to where I'm just like about to lose my mind, this fucking asshole pretends like he's me, and I could hear him in the background trying to beseech something. He's trying to pretend like he's me. He's using my stress to make something come out, and then he piggybacks on it like if he was me. And 90% of the time I never hear this shit, but once in a while I'll be trying to listen, and they're torturing me for listening. They're torturing me for when I breathe hard. Like right now, if I just get oh, they're not saying anything. Wow, interesting. Normally anytime I do that, the vibration is always like a complaining little fucking whiny fucking noise, and it's probably trying to pretend like it's me. Like, there's these noises going back and forth where supposedly I'm talking like I'm in cahoots with someone, and someone else is talking to me, asking me questions. Oh, if this is real, is this real? You know, it's been 4 years now. You know, they watch me grab my balls and any little private thing that I do. I mean, I'm sure they see my tattoos with my name, my daughter's initials, and my mom's name on my arm, just dumb shit like that. I'm sure they see that, but they just insist on messing with my head. They insist on making me feel like I'm validated if I close my mouth. If I close my mouth, some noise out of nowhere, like they'll torture me, right? I'm like, leave me the fuck alone, get the fuck out of here. Oh, we don't understand. Oh, he sounds like Danny. Oh, you sound like Danny. And Danny is a name that I'm not really fond of. And I actually heard his octaves like 3 years ago, his actual voice. All this other shit just whispery, fucking stupid shit. And once in a while, no, I've actually heard voices of people that I've known, and they pretty much absolved themselves already. They drove me crazy, and every time I snap on one of these noises, they made sure to insert, what do you want to say to Frank? What do you want to say to Amber? What do you want to say to Danny? What do you want to say to Rich? Even my daughter, what do you want to say to Sonia? Like, totally made me out to be a stalker to them. You know, they pretty much turned it all around to where I'm the one fucking with their head or something. But anyways, one of them pretends to be me. I could hear my daughter's voice sometimes in the background. And this asshole who's pretending to be me talks to her. And I've actually heard him pretend to be me, and I've actually heard a voice that sounded like my daughter act like she's talking to someone that she thinks is me. And I don't think they hear me, because when I heard that, I started screaming. I got real pissed off, and they don't seem to give a fuck. I don't think anything really hears me. I think they're just playing shit, doing stuff for me to hear it. But really, when I get all emotional and I get mad, this asshole, the Danny that pretends to be Sammy, I can hear him in the background acting like he's telling something that, oh, this is really Sammy. I'm the one that read the book. I'm the one that read the Land of Osiris. I'm the one that sang, Lord, please have mercy. Like, he's mentioning things that I did when I was by myself, or no one was around. And so he's mentioning these things, trying to convince something, and then my heart starts to hurt. My chest starts to burn like I'm getting a heart attack. This asshole who's pretending to be Sammy is telling something out in the distance. Oh, that's him. He's the one that... And I mean, if they keep accusing me of being Danny, I don't know what the heck the spirit world or the invisible world sees. I don't know how they see or visualize things. But, I mean, if I'm the one that passed out unexpectedly around these people 20 years ago, and now they're the ones pretending to be me, talking to something, saying, he's the one that looked into my iris. What the fuck? I don't know about no conjuring. I don't know about this shit. But they're constantly, like, in the background, they'll pretend that they'll be asking people, or they'll pretend like they're asking me, or they'll pretend like they're telling someone if they accept some bee stings or something. And then they'll pretend, I don't know if they're pretending to be me or if it's me supposedly telling people. They're all like, who are you? And then something else will answer back like it's their fucking kid or some shit. And all these little jargon phrases and shit. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? And they're like, I don't know, they bring up the weirdest things, and then they just clown me. They clown me like, oh, how does it feel that a remote neuron virtual monitor has been talking to some gen of yours, and you never got to know it? I mean, they said they've been doing this for like 20, 30, for a long time. I didn't know I was supposed to know anything. I didn't know if people talk with something spiritual or some type of shit. I don't know. And these things are just antagonizing me, like pretending to be me in my brain. And if remote virtual neural monitoring can mute part of your brain or your consciousness from hearing anything, while a remote neural monitor mirrors every emotion, every thought, everything. And once in a while I can just hear, like when I'm thinking or anything, they'll mention all these names of people, and that's all I hear is their names. And then another noise will get, oh, why is he thinking about them? And then why is he thinking of... they'll make me think of these people, and then they pretend to have conversations with them as if I'm the one talking to them. So they're just, I mean, I don't know if they're fucking with me, like saying, oh, how does it feel, man, to have something so cool? Like the thing that's torturing me says, oh, it's a pleasure to get to know something about you that's in your body. Oh, and he never got to know you. Oh, it's such a pleasure. If you only knew this and that. Oh, too bad it thinks you're this person. And every time that we beseech it, it's gonna attack you. Your own gen's gonna attack you, or some shit. They do some switcheroo shit. I don't know how that works. I don't give a fuck. It just makes me feel more lonely. I mean, what a cruel joke, right? To never hear noises all your life, and then have these noises pretend to be you, and then another noise in the distance, like sounding like it wants to talk to me, or maybe a different noise, maybe another. They're just mixing shit up. Like, I'll hear my name, but they really mean Danny, or I'll be doing something, you know, I'll be getting ready to grab something, and they'll call me Danny or something. I don't know if they're really saying Sammy on one spectrum, and then I hear Danny or whatever. But anyways, it's just a bunch of bullshit. I'm just so sick of it. I'm sick that I never heard noises. These noises came and ping-ponged me out of the blue 4 years ago. I've been telling them to leave me alone for the longest, and they don't listen. They don't give a fuck. They pretend like they're confused. Oh, is this really that? Oh. You know, I'll be yelling, kicking, and screaming. So I guess the guy Danny that I'm not fond of, who was around when I mysteriously passed out. That's funny how if supposedly he's recognized while my mouth is open and I'm just expressing myself normally, like everywhere I go, like if I'm just talking or driving or thinking or whatever. That's funny how this asshole wants to rub his dick all over my expression while singing and talking. All this takes place with your mouth open. And that's funny how he says, oh, he'll just out of the blue, oh, you sound like Danny. Oh, you sound like, oh, if you want to be understood, you need to close your mouth. Well, first of all, motherfuckers, I've never developed any rapport with you fucking noises to begin with. So, and second, I don't need to close my fucking mouth to be understood. You guys might as well just kill me or with a heart or whatever, because you guys are out of line and this is bullshit. You ain't gonna fucking put a bridle on my mouth and treat me like a fucking horse and make me close my fucking mouth and try to traumatize me and stigmatize me into steering this way and that way. Like when I naturally close my mouth, I'm just like closing my mouth, and a noise will say, oh, now there's a Sammy we know. Oh, now we hear Sammy. Oh, there's Sammy. I'm like, fuck you fucking noises. Fuck this fucking sham scam, this fucking head game, man. This is fucking bullshit. So, I don't know, it's just a bunch of bullshit. They just sit around and act confused when I assert myself, and then just act stupid. They act like trolls and pretend I'm someone else, you know. One time I was private, you know, what grown men do. Y'all just grabbing my balls, maybe a little more, and these noises told me to think about fucking my daughter while I'm jacking off. And that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And just anytime I'm doing anything, like alone, like grab my balls or anything anytime, anything that has to do with just anything like that, they'll say they have my daughter, you know, and that they're raping her or they raped her, or they'll just bring up stupid shit like cold-hearted shit, and they're the ones that seem to like turn her away from me. I don't know if my daughter's influenced by this, but it's like when I'm making videos like this, there's a noise, there's a voice that sounds like me, and it acts like it's talking to her, and it's forcing her to say that she sees him. Like it'll be like a faggot ass voice. I don't know if he's pretending to be me, but he'll say, "Oh, this is your fault. I need you to see something now. See something. You're never gonna see something," or some dumb shit. And it just stresses me out that something out there acting like me, doing all kinds of shit that I don't know about, and just like trying to integrate me into this bullshit. Like, I'm constantly fighting and arguing, and these fucking noises keep like blending other noises in, like if I'm talking with them and I'm not, and I don't want to. And the fucked up part is this asshole who pretends to be me has got like I mean, my ex, he supposedly has been talking on this remote shit, or trying to, or stalking, or who knows, but supposedly been talking to my ex-girlfriend. Not Amber. They keep using her as bait for me to pause. They've used my daughter, they've used my ex-girlfriend Amber, or this girl I used to go out with. They use her, and this dude sounds like a pimp. He acts like he's some fucking pimp or something. You know, he'll use them as bait. Oh, do you really want something to happen to them? You need to say you see, or some dumb shit. This was like a long time ago, like 4 years ago in the beginning. And then that's when they said, oh, he's fucked. And then they just keep torturing me, like as if they traded places with me or something. Like they're me and I'm some asshole. And every time I say something logical, every time I'm thinking, every time I do anything, they tell me that I sound like either Danny, Frank, Richard, Amber, my daughter. They tell me that I fucking sound like them, and that anything I say or think is actually applying to them. They antagonize me. I'd be crying, screaming, like ready to die, just like panting, like feeling like I'm just gonna breathe my last breath or something. And they'll just sit there and antagonize me and say, oh, you know what? You sounded like this person. You sounded like this person. Or the whole time you've been talking, something programmed your mouth or something in your brain to just keep repeating some stupid phrase over and over and over, like a loop or something stupid. Or you just, oh man, there's another person that got a Mensa award, you know, like for intelligence. I don't know, like, I mean, I've been defending myself so many times over and over and over, and not knowing that they're just filtering whatever I'm expressing through another personality. And they brag that, like, oh man, all these people have Mensa awards thanks to this guy. You know, and they know exactly who I am, and they'll antagonize me by letting me know, oh yeah, we know who you really are. Yeah. But this is how it is. That's just how it is, you know. I'm like, no, it ain't. This is not how it is. And they just keep doing it over and over and over, like getting my attention, making me react, and then reading my mind and reading my, you know, my rebuttal, and then applying it to someone else, and then some other asshole pretends to be whoever the fuck he thinks he is and absolves them. You know, there's some noise in the background. It's probably this bully. He always wants attention. He always wanted to be like the leader of the pack, and listen up. Oh, it's been decided. You know, shit like that. Like if he's like has like if he has keys to like a main line of a bunch of homeboys, and he's like, listen up, homies. Okay, it's been decided. This is how it's gonna. You know, like making decisions for my life and shit. And then there's another noise that sounds like me, that I can't even hear. Once in a while I'll hear it, and that's why I think they have their excuse. They make up their excuse to just keep fucking with me, and they just, like, I don't know, they just filter shit through me and make it sound like if I'm saying it. I'll think something's being said to me, and I'm thinking to myself, well, fuck, that's where it should stay. If anything comes in here and it sounds like it applies to me, my natural reaction is just to preserve it and just keep it there, or just if whatever it means, why repeat it or whatever? But these fucking things will say some shit that sounds like it applies to someone, but it comes right into my head involuntarily, and then something else pulls it back out. Something else reads the thought or of whatever that is, or hears it, and they react to it instead of me. Like, I won't react to it. It sounds like it's meant for me or something, I guess. But then it'll come into my head, and then someone else reacts to it, like if it was being said to them. And just a bunch of little, just dumb shit. And so yeah, I guess that's it. If there was something that pissed me off that made me want to, well, I think I already shared about how my exterior life sucks. Like, everywhere I go, they make a bunch of turret syndrome shit come out of me, and they program it off of me. I mean, like, I don't know what the fuck this shit is, but they just, I don't know. If I hear a little bit here and there, they just rouse me to react and to use something. They rouse me to do something. They keep telling me open and close my mouth, open my mouth. And for the first 2 years, I didn't know what they were talking about. I just thought they were treating me like a bitch. But it seems like they were trying to like force me, or no, not even force me. Just I don't know what they planted on me or what kind of whatever, like making me seem like I'm using some capability, using something. And but obviously, if I was really using something, I wouldn't be kind of like a dope fiend. I wouldn't be drinking alcohol. I wouldn't be doing drugs. And I wouldn't be just aimlessly driving around with nothing to do and not even wanting to be social, because I already know that some stupid turret syndrome garbage is going to come out of my mouth, like I'm no good, or I'm a molester or a pedophile or a rapist or a chomo, or don't talk to him, he ain't family, you know. And that it's that same noise that I hear in the background. Something sounds like it's jamming that noise up, and that noise keeps saying, no, I'm just trying to help him, I ain't doing nothing to him. So this noise wants to piggyback. It keeps wanting to just be all up in my shit, and it's acting and like it's tricking something into thinking it's helping me or something. But this fucking thing ain't helping anything. I don't know what the fuck kind of help that is. He fucking tortures me, and then salts me up around people. I mean, I've actually heard this shit come out of my mouth, let alone I'd hear it in my mind too. And if I guess like what Kevin was talking about, Christian, if those people have some certain channel or frequency in the same frequency, whatever I may have heard, like really very distantly in my own head, clowning me, like when I walk up to someone, like I always sell stuff, right? And right when I'm about to come up and sell something, sometimes I'll hear something like, don't buy nothing from him, he's no good, or get away from him, we're gonna wet him, or some shit. And then people will, like, everyone that's around me will just disappear, and I'm sitting there by myself. I'm just sitting there by myself, and then my chest starts to hurt, my throat, and everything, the moisture in me just evaporates, and I'm just sitting there like, you know, wanting to drink water. And then a noise conveniently says, oh, you're gonna need a lot more water than that. Like they just, I don't know, they're sick in their fucking head. And I'm just tired of this shit, man. So if any of this resonates or whatever, when you want to leave a comment, or if any one of you fucking trolls or whatever want to say something that's way off the subject, I don't give a fuck.